morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Osa Radio. So today, we need to take a look at a couple of new cards that, in a very literal sense of the word, break the rules of the Pokemon trading card game. They are, in a literal sense, actually broken. And they are full-on, flat-out phenomenal if you can get them working. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very big if. We might as well start off today with Dream Ball, and our translation here does come from the lovely Antoine Boulet. It is a new item card, a new ball search card, and it reads: you can only play this card when you draw it as a prize card before putting it into your hand. And a confirmation that must be a face-down prize card, so if you've got an attack or something that turns your prize cards face up, it won't work. Think of it like Jirachi Prism Star in that regard. It's got to actually be a surprise when you draw it. So if we were to get a reprint of something like Town Map, it wouldn't work. But if you do draw it as a face-down prize card, you search your deck for a Pokemon, put it onto your bench, and shuffle your deck. And this is where the broken part of it comes in, because it doesn't say basic Pokemon, it says Pokemon. So you can use this item card to search and bench a Stage 2 Pokemon, a VMAX Pokemon. Anyone you like. So, a Pokemon we've been talking about quite a bit lately, one that looks really good moving forward, is Inteleon. It's got the same ability that Decidueye GX used to have, which means once during your turn, you just drop 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's great. But it's a Stage 2. Now, we do actually have a way to cheat this into play at the moment. It's Mustard. Mustard, if it is the only card in your hand, you can play a Rapid Strike Pokemon like Inteleon from your discard straight onto your bench and draw until you've got 5 cards in your hand. It's clearly a fun thing to do. But it's your supporter for the turn, and it's got to be the only card in your hand. It's a little bit awkward. Here, you can just search for a Stage 2 and drop it down on the bench, and you are good and ready to go. However, you must draw it as a face-down prize card. The problem is, we're getting this right as Detective Pikachu rotates out. And believe me, this now makes Detective Pikachu rotating out a big deal, because we're losing Mr. Mime. You see, when you play Mr. Mime from your hand onto your bench, you may switch one of your face-down prize cards with the top card of your deck. And basically, what we're doing here is we're using it with Oranguru, and we are using the same combo we used to use with Jirachi Prism Star. It's awesome. Oranguru swaps a card in your hand for the top card of your deck. So you would draw into this item card, use Oranguru to put it on top of your deck, use Mr. Mime to swap a face-down prize card with it, and then it is a prize card, and it is face-down. You know exactly where it is. You will know exactly how to get it, but it is face-down, so it totally meets the requirements, just like we saw with Jirachi Prism Star. And then you take a prize, and you get to search your deck for any Pokemon and bench it, even if they're an evolved Pokemon. Clearly, this is ridiculous and awesome. The problem is, we know that Mr. Mime is going to rotate out when the rotation hits on September the 10th. And this isn't good, unfortunately. Now, as it stands at the moment, there is no guarantee, but as it stands at the moment, this looks incredibly likely to be released on August the 27th. That is the placeholder date we've got for Sword and Shield 7, which is where this card is overwhelmingly likely to be released. And that means that it should be legal for tournament play around about September the 10th, which is when the rotation hits. So we're losing Mr. Mime. Now, Japan tends to have a later rotation, so Japan might actually be able to take advantage of this for a little while. But basically speaking, this is a problem, because the way we have to manipulate cards into our prizes is Mr. Mime. With something like, and bearing in mind, this isn't some kind of super easy combo. You need to have an Oranguru on your bench. You need to have Mr. Mime in your hand. You've got to draw into the card you want. You've got to use Scoop Up Net to reuse Mr. Mime. This is not a super easy combo, but it is doable and it is worth it given how good the effect of this card is. But we're not even going to have that. So basically speaking, we don't actually have a way to fix our prize card. Now, if we get an effect which will basically replace Mr. Mime, yes, 100% awesome. And we actually do. We are getting Peonia. Now, Peonia, for those of you that may have forgotten, lets you choose up to 3 of your prize cards and put them into your hand. Then choose that same number of cards from your hand and add them to your prize cards face down. It does not say shuffle them. It does not say randomize them. It just says add them to your prize cards face down. So as long as you've got, and here's the thing, right? This is, I don't like it as much as the Mr. Mime thing, because the Mr. Mime, it all revolves around Pokemon. Pokemon are easy to search. This is a supporter, which is harder to find. And then even when you've got your supporter, you've got to, it's got to be your supporter for the turn, which is super awkward because you often want to use something like Professor's Research to draw cards or Boss's Orders to gust something up. But the point is, we do have an option. I don't love it as much as I love Mr. Mime. I think Mr. Mime is better as an option here, but it is an option and that's important. Because then you can actually put these down, and you can actually put multiple down with Peonia, and as long as you remember where they are, it means that you will be able to get them whenever you want, and it means you can guarantee this, and then I love it. I don't love the Peonia combo. I think using a supporter is awkward. I think having to have the support around the item in hand at the same time is awkward, but I also think that being able to put multiples of these down is good, and to be fair, when this works, you're cheating stage 2s into play. You are literally searching your deck for a Pokemon that you're supposed to evolve twice in order to get out and putting it straight down on your bench as if it were a basic. So I suppose my conclusion here is awkward, but oh my goodness, it's good. So I don't really know. So let's go ahead and 4 Wassies. Just give it 4 Wassies. Again, I don't know how great this is. I don't know how easy it's going to be. I fear it's going to be one of those amazing combos that ends up being too awkward. We know that the Mr. Mime combo will work as it worked with Jirachi. We don't know if Peonia will work as easily, but there's so much potential. Then we've got an energy card coming in here as well, and thematically very similar. While attached to a Pokemon, this card provides 1 colorless energy, so again, it's another one of those that's just a colorless energy. But when you take this card as a face-down prize card, before putting it into your hand, you may attach it to one of your Pokemon instead. So it's an energy card that instead of taking it into your hand and using your attachment for next turn, you just get to attach. And essentially, my thoughts on Treasure Energy are very, very similar to my thoughts on Dream Ball. It's broken, and I mean that in a literal sense. The rules say you can only attach 1 card during your turn. The rules say that Special Energy, you have to attach it as your attachment for the turn, not draw it and then play it straight away. But hoping it ends up in your prize cards is not a great strategy. You really want to actually draw it off your prize cards and know you're going to draw it. And the way we basically have to do that, or we will when it comes around, is Peonia. And I'm not 100% sure how good it's going to be. Now, if you're playing 4 Dream Ball and 4 Treasure Energy, then your chances of drawing into these cards to use Peonia is going to be awesome. But then we're going to need some kind of Pokemon search. You're going to need to be playing something like Chinchino here, so that you can afford to do this as your supporter for the turn while still drawing. Obviously, Peonia will let you take cards out of your prizes, and that may well end up being the cards you want, but it might not, so you need some kind of Pokemon draw along at the same time. But the fact of the matter is, 1 extra energy can be huge. We all saw the effect that Tapu Koko can have just getting 1 extra energy onto a Pokemon. We've all seen how great it can be when you hit heads on a Turbo Patch. This is a similar kind of thing. Sure, it's colourless energy, so it won't work for every Pokemon. Something like a Zacian, who, let's be clear, does not need any help. But that is an attack which is metal, metal, metal. It ain't going to work. But there are plenty of Pokemon out there that absolutely can use this. And I like this very much. What I will say is, if you draw into Dream Ball, it is literally a dead card. It does nothing. Whereas Treasure Energy seems to be that you can attach it normally. And okay, it's just a colourless energy, but we've all dropped just basic energy to pay colourless anyway. That's not a huge deal. It's just got the extra bonus. So for that reason, I'm giving it 4 Wassies. I like it very much indeed. Yes, fine, there is a risk, but there is so much less of a risk with Treasure Energy than there is with Dream Ball because of the fact that it is still an energy that you can just attach as your energy for the turn. I think both of them have got to use Peonia, and it will remain to be seen whether Peonia is actually good enough here, whether it is viable or not. But both of these effects are so dumb, ridiculous, and like I've said in a very literal sense of the word, break the rules of the game, that this is something we need to be having a serious think about. And you know, I can't tell you right now whether it's going to be good. That is the kind of thing we're only going to learn from proper testing. But I feel extremely confident telling you that an awful lot of people are going to try very hard to make it work. Because Dream Ball especially, it's weird. Dream Ball it's got the higher ceiling but the lower floor. It can be a dead card, or it can get a stage 2 Pokemon cheated out into play. I kind of like them. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.